Mert Lawwill is an innovator, and his love for fabricating and improving two-wheeled hardware started with motorcycles. He was once one of the top dirt track professionals on the AMA National Circuit and was crowned the Grand National Champion in 1969. Lawwill's name became synonymous with winning when his title defense was immortalized in Bruce Brown's 1971 film On Any Sunday.
He's like a gunfighter. No show of emotion, not even a blink. Total concentration.
He says, "Yeah, I'm doing a film. You want to be part of it?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I don't care. That's okay." I had no idea. I was really narrow-minded at that time and focused only on what I was doing, just racing. I had no idea who he was. I just thought, oh, he's another guy, and if the movie turns out great, well, that's really cool. And of course, that really pyramided into a much more gigantic thing than I could have ever imagined.
Just a real level-headed, steady, focused guy. You know, whatever he gets into, he's a great guy.
Definitely not the Hollywood image, but highly skilled professionals.
Lawwill was 29 when On Any Sunday was made. It was the peak of a racing career that began in the late 1950s in Boise, Idaho. Mert wanted a bigger challenge, and in the early 60s, he moved to California to compete in the famous Friday night dirt track races at Ascot Park. His friends and family gave him mixed support.
And some of them said, you know, that's too big adventure, you'll never make it, we'll see you back here in 6 months. And others said, no, you'll make it if you can hang in there. I remember one of my first heat races at Ascot. Well, I got the whole shot, and I was leading going down the back straight thinking, well, this is not so hard after all. And I went into turn 3, and they came by me on both sides. And I was so demoralized that it really took a lot to stay in there because I just couldn't believe people could go that fast.
Lawwill did get better. He won his first of 15 career nationals in 1965 at the Sacramento Mile, a special day because his parents, who once disapproved of motorcycles, saw him in a major race for the first time. Lawwill's career blossomed after that first win, and his high point was earning the #1 plate in 1969. He had his own style. He was fastidious, worked on his own bike, and spent countless hours trying to make his machines go faster.
I think of one of the first guys to really be an innovator and not just be some guy that jumped on a motorcycle and tried to go fast, but tried to figure out why it went fast and how to make a living out of things.
The financial opportunities in motorcycle racing in the 70s were not as great as today, and Lawwill's competitors still shake their heads and smile at the memories.
He would drive, and we all drove wide open, 36 hours nonstop, then get to the racetrack or the city the day before, and then get a good night's sleep and have a breakfast in the morning and then go to the races. Mert would show up right from San Francisco at the sign-up line. If the sign-up started at 3 o'clock, he'd be there like at 3:30, driving or have driven from San Francisco and get there. And then after the races were over, he'd ask where we were staying, like at this place in Louisville, Brown's Hotel. He'd ask if he'd come over and use a shower. The guy was cheap. He was cheap.
The second major highlight of Lawwill's career is being one of the featured riders in On Any Sunday. Hall of Famer Bruce Brown documented Lawwill's quest for a second consecutive title and captured moments on and off the track that personified the true life of a dirt track racer.
Bruce Brown wanted to make sure that nobody thought this was a film from Hollywood, so he jumped in the van with me and drove right beside me back east a time or two, just so that he could travel right with me and know that this is the way that it really is. Because he didn't want anything to be phony. He wanted it to be authentic, and he sure made it authentic.
I kind of liked it because surfers were, had like a bad image, and Endless Summer helped correct that. Same with On Any Sunday. That's my favorite thing with Mert was his grandmother had never been to a motorcycle race, and they thought he was like the black sheep of the family. She went to the theater and saw On Any Sunday, and when Mert came on, she stood up and went, "That's my grandson!" So then he went from zero to hero,
For Lawwill, it also meant making lifelong friends who he still keeps in contact with today.
A really good, down-to-earth, straight shooter guy that, for a guy, how do you say this? I kind of love him.
Dick Mann, Mert Lawwill, and Cal Rayburn sort of grabbed me one day and said, look, if you want to be a racer, you have to do it like this. And for them to say that to me, because they were my heroes, meant a lot.
Lawwill doesn't consider himself a legend. He says, I've still got more things to do. After retiring from racing in 1977, he built motorcycle racing frames and then went on to become the godfather of mountain bike suspension and developed his own line of bicycles. For those efforts, he was inducted into the Mountain Bike Hall of Fame in 1997. Today, Lawwill designs and manufactures prosthetic hands in an effort to keep people riding no matter their limitations. At 72 years young, no matter what Lawwill does or where he goes, he will always hold a special place in the hearts and minds of motorcyclists.
Motorcycling was my life. You know, I'm born to be a wheelman. I ride wheels. And I'm just proud to be a part of the motorcycling fraternity.
The AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame is proud to honor as a legend Mert Lawwill, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1998.